to May Day, which is also May Day in Hawaii, but it is International Workers' Day in the world, and we are here to support our workers here in Hawaii. That's why we're here. We're needing to continue to build not only our coalition, but a groundswell so that people will no longer see workers as just folk, but essential to the life of who we are here in Hawaii. They deserve respect, they deserve support, they deserve our embrace as people of Hawaii. And so that's why we're here to begin to talk about what we're going to be doing to build that coalition. And we got a lot of speakers in mind in the lineup today to tell their stories so that you too can begin to spread their stories and that we continue to build this groundswell of movement for Hawaii's workers, okay? All right, to begin with, we're gonna start with an oli, and I'm gonna call upon Kaliko. Is Kaliko here? There, Kaliko. Mahalo.
Aloha mai kako. Okay, we're just gonna start with e ho mai, so if you know it, feel free to join.
Little louder.
Louder? This one? Okay. We're gonna start with e ho mai, so if you know it, feel free to join. But first, if everyone can take a deep breath together, inhale. And exhale. One more time. And out. Hanui loko kako. And ha. E ho mai ka ike mai luna mai e. O na mea huna no e au na mele. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai ka ike mai luna mai e. O na mea huna no e au na mele. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai ka ike mai luna mai e. O na mea huna no e au na mele. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai e. And finally, I'm going to do an only that is just acknowledging the hard work that has gone into all of the organizing and the labor of standing up for what is right for the workers of Hawaii, but also to pray for and ask for the longevity to continue, as I know each of you folks have planted seeds for future generations really to sit under and understand what it means to be part of a movement that's so important. It's Pule Ola Loihi, so if you know, you can join as well. O kaula e ke akua e nana mai kau mau pula pula e ola kaniko ahau maka I ole apalalau hala akau I kapu ane ane alai la lave aku e au I ke alo wa ke ae o kaula e ke akua Inana mai kau mau pula pula E ola kaniko Ahau makai ole Apalalau hala Akau I kapu ane ane Alaila lave aku o e au I ke alo Wa ke ae o kau o lae Ke akua E nana mai kau mau pula pula E ola kaniko Ahau makai ole Apalalau hala Akau I kapu ane ane Alaila lave aku o e au I ke alo Wa ke ae ola la e ola loa e. And if everyone wants to take one more deep breath together, inhale and exhale. Mahalo for being here for today, and I'm going to pass the mic back off.
Mahalo, Kaliko. Really appreciate your opening and leading us today. We want to introduce ourselves for those of us who are the MCs. I am the Reverend Sam Domingo, the current president of the board of the Hawaiʻi Workers Center.
Aloha. My name is Misty Pegram, and I'm a member of Hawaiʻi, and we're one of the 48 wonderful organizations who are a member of the Defend and Respect Hawaiʻi Workers Coalition. So let's give them all a big round of applause. Yeah, so for those who are on, if you haven't had a chance, I'll have some time later to visit the tables of the organizations that are tabling here today. So with that, we're going to begin our program officially. So today, as Sam had mentioned, is the International Workers' Day, but we're also celebrating the 5th anniversary of the Hawaiʻi Workers Center. Happy birthday, Workers Center. For those of you who were there at the beginning, you know, we started on a small gathering and launch on Zoom, and now we're here today, you know, in our thousands, in our millions, all together standing for the workers' rights. And so, another important question that we have to ask ourselves today is, what is the state of the workers after 5 years that the Workers Center has been here, but also that workers have been around, which has been forever? And so what are we looking at, especially now in the time of an administration who is so blatantly attacking workers' rights? And at the whim of every one of those people in DC, what has been the response of our legislators here in Hawaii? How have they worked to protect our migrant workers, our low-wage workers, our non-unionized workers? How are they protecting our unions here in Hawaii? More so, how are they protecting Native Hawaiian workers, Filipino workers, COFA workers? And these are the questions that we are here to answer today. What is the state of our workers in Hawaii? And so today is the day that we lay it all out on the table and tell them exactly that. And tell them that they need to do better for our workers. Yes. That they need to see the power of the working people. And if you can refer to your chart sheets here, that the people united will never be defeated. And so we'd like to begin our program by calling up Armando from Aloha Latinos and the Hawaiʻi Coalition for Immigrant Rights. If we could give him a round of applause.
Hello, my name is Armando Rodriguez. I'm a corn and coffee farmer, and this is Lisa Ryan and Victoria Magaña. She's also a coffee farmer. Yeah, my name is Armando Rodriguez, and I'm a corn and coffee farmer, and I'm president of Aloha Latinos. You know, we're on the Big Island of Hawaii, and I just want to thank God for having you here, and bless you and your families, and I'd like to ask God to help us, show us the best road to take in this troubled times. I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm gonna make it quick here. I was born in Sonora, Mexico, and my parents and my 3 siblings, we crossed the Sonoran Desert back in 1978, and I ended up in Phoenix, and you might ask yourself, why did I cross the desert? Why did I come here illegally? But to poor people like myself, there isn't any other way to get here. If you want to get a visa, you have to be wealthy to start off with. So there was no opportunities for us in Mexico. We didn't have the basic needs, so my parents decided to bring us to the United States. And my saddest memory, this chapter of life, crossing the desert, besides, I had to leave my grandparents, little friends, and I still cry when I remember I had this dog, Mutt, his name was Chileen, and that was the hardest thing, to leave him, because he was special. He was my best friend. I didn't have anything. That's the only thing that belonged to me. So that was hard to leave him. And once we got to Arizona, our struggles just began. Shortly after getting there, both my parents were deported. My dad was working construction, and my mom was working at a tortilla factory. And we were, 4 kids, we were left home by ourselves. I remember going hungry, and finally some of our relatives, picked us up, and so it was a hard time for me in my life. And in 1986, that was the last time we had opportunity to become legal. So in 1986, we got our green card. So that was a big deal for us. We were getting closer to being an American. And then, I finished high school. Served in the military. And then in 2013, I moved to Hawaii. Me and my family, and this is when I started my chapter as a coffee farmer. But before I talk to you about my career as a coffee farmer, I want to share a story my grandfather used to tell me. My grandfather was Indian. He was didn't speak very much, but he was a real wise man. And it took me 30 years to understand his story, and hopefully you could understand it. It kind of reminds me, what's happening here in America right now. And I'll start the story. It's kind of a kid story. So the hyena said to the lion, "Hey lion, the grass is blue." The lion stared at the hyena and said, "Lion, you're crazy. The grass is green." So they argued for a while, and they couldn't figure it out. So they went to see our Creator, and the lion tells God, "Hyena, the lion and I are arguing. He says that the grass is blue, but I say that it's green." And the hyena demands, "God, let's punish him." God agrees, and he looks at the lion. "I'm going to punish you, lion. I'm going to give you 4 years of hardships." The lion asks, "Why punish me, Lord? Is the grass really blue?" "No, the grass is green." "I'm going to punish you. I'm going to give you this punishment because it's incredible that an animal as strong as you and intelligent as you waste your time fighting with a hyena over a color that you know that it's not true. I punish you for being a fool." As we know, the hyena's been telling us, the lions, us Americans, the American people, that our country is struggling because of immigrants. But we know it's not true. Immigrants are part of our society. They contribute to our workforce, and so now us Lions, we're gonna be facing 4 years of hardship, maybe even more if he gets re-elected again. So, I'm gonna go into my coffee here. We've been struggling. As many of you have probably seen the news. ICE has been coming down to our community. It's raiding houses without warrants, arresting people with warrants, and so we're losing our workers. In my case, in our farm, there's an older couple that they're green card holders. They're permanent residents. Live in Arizona, and during the harvest season they fly over and they help us. But they're telling us this year they're not coming because they're afraid of going to the airport, getting their green card taken away. So it's a shame. And then I'm not the only farmer. There's other farmers that are projecting they're going to lose a lot of their crops. Some 30%. So it's going to be a big hit for our economy. There's about 1,000 coffee farms just in the Kona area. We're the only state that produces Kona that produces Kona coffee or coffee in the commercial level. We're the only state that produces cacao. We produce bananas and papayas. So coffee contributes at least $500 million a year, into our economy, which stays here locally. So, this coming season, workers are going to be scarce, because they're going to be scared. So please, help us and help support our community and, drink more Kona coffee. Thank you. And you want to say? Thank you.
I don't know how much time I have. Aloha, everyone. My name is Victoria. Did you guys hear me the first time? I am the daughter of once undocumented parents, raised on Hawaiʻi Island, and so my father was deported 2017 during the first Trump administration. My mother is now a U.S. resident. And so we are here to speak for the families and the community that is unable to speak. A lot of the families that are affected are mixed status families. They have a brother, they have a sibling, a parent, an uncle, and so they want their voices heard, but unfortunately they are silenced. The disappearings that have happened recently, especially like on Hawaiʻi Island, we have been there and seen the fear. Families have stopped, they're leaving their homes early. They're coming home late at night because of the fear of ICE raids. They're sleeping in their cars. Children are afraid to go to school because they don't know when the moment that ICE comes and takes them. They don't know if they're going to come back to their parents at night, after school, if their parents are still going to be there. People are living in fear, and so I just want to say thank you for coming out and supporting and recognizing that we are human and that these families are human, that they are displaced people from their own countries. It's not easy to leave a country, to leave your land, to leave your language, your community. So I just want to thank you all for being advocates for those that are not voiceless but are silenced, right? So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Truly heartwarming, heart-wrenching, the stories. And I trust to some degree that you will not forget their speakers today and to remember the folks on the Big Island right now, clearly. And if there's anything that you can do to call people who might make a difference up there, please do. Make that connection right now if you can, right? The administration's draconian policies indeed are right before us. We don't have to really think about it anymore. It is more important than ever to ensure that our migrant workers are protected on every level. And to speak to more on how these attacks have impacted, especially the COFA community, I'm going to call upon Austin right now. Austin, aloha, please come and share your story.
All right, mic check, mic check. Good afternoon, everybody. Again, my name is Austin. Sorry. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Once again, my name is Austin with the Hawaii Coalition for Immigrant Rights. I was kind of subbed in last minute, but I did want to come in and, speak on, not for necessarily the COFA communities, but as an advocate for our COFA communities here in Hawaii. I know the speaker that was originally supposed to be here unfortunately had incidences with wage theft, and unfortunately stuff like that, even withholding documentation, like passports, are sadly common in our communities. And so I just want to shout out Hawaii Workers Center for organizing this event, because I think bringing us together and the conversations that I've been able to have with different people coming from all different parts of the world, coming just this morning from off island, it gives me hope. I'm not sure how things were 5 years ago with the Workers Center. That time I was still at UH, sitting in a classroom trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. But here I am 5 years, and I feel more empowered now than I did when I was sitting in that classroom, because I'm here with a lot of advocates that are fighting for the same things, and a lot of people that believe in the same causes that we're here for. And so I thank you for organizing this event. And basically, again, just to wrap up, I'm gonna make this quick. We need more events like this for us to get together and remind each other that we have each other. And again, we are a coalition, and that's our mission, is to empower our communities, empower our service providers and our resources to network, because we can affect change if we do it together. Our people are coming from islands that we have wayfinded for centuries, generations, and now we're here and we're navigating a whole different system. But it's not impossible. It's not. We have so many examples of success stories in our communities, and those are the stories that we need to highlight. And we don't have that opportunity if we don't get together with people alike that are fighting for the same causes that we fight for and that we stand for. So once again, happy May Day, happy International Workers Day, and thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Austin, for sharing. Especially important to think about everyone within our community who, is really navigating and trying to find their way throughout all of this. And the really only way that we can do that is by navigating it all together. So again, thank you all for coming here, and join us as we navigate the next 4 years and on. And so with that, we would like to call up our next speaker, Asano from Hui Aloha ʻāina o Honolulu and Local 5.
Is that good? Okay. Aloha, mahalo for inviting me here today. My name is Asano. I was born and raised on Oahu, grew up in Haleyalpiy, and now I live in Kaneohe. I'm a proud member of Local 5. I worked at the Sheraton Waikiki for 20 years, where I learned organizing and how to fight the boss. I'm also a member of Kalea Maili Ali'i, and also a member of Hui Aloha ʻāina, where I've been the VP, or I'm recently the VP, but I've been involved since their reinception in 2015. Currently, I also work at Local 5 on the staff as their data organizer and community organizer. I've been asked today to speak to the state of Kanaka in Hawaii, but rather than focusing on specific issues, I'd like to speak to some fundamental truths we know of this place called Hawaiʻi. We come from a place where the people were at one time 100% self-sustainable. We come from a people that by the 1840s established a constitution, I believe the sixth in the world, and a country that had a diverse citizenship that welcomed all. Where ideas like universal health care, the Queen's Hospital, and where women held high positions in government was not something to achieve, but it was a reality. Where education was mandatory, where Ali'i toured the globe and brought innovative ideas and technologies back to Hawaii. Where people exercised true agency. A place where today we are born into a history of organized resilience. If you think about it, whose names were on the Ku'e petition? It was the people's names, the workers. I'm reminded of the grit of the Koloa plantation workers who refused to work for slave wages. Dock workers like Harry Kamoku that organized Kanaka and non-Kanaka alike, touting the phrase, "We are all brothers under the skin." The 1946 ILW sugar strike that organized across racial lines and brought the Big Five to a halt, one of our biggest organizing campaigns in Hawaii's history. To Local 5's Jimmy Chalk, who walked Waikiki from end to end organizing hotels, and in the 1952 Matson Hotel strike, helped set the standard in what will be the largest industry in Hawaii, making sure not only workers' basic rights and needs are met, but more importantly, demanding dignity and respect, a model that Local 5 has been able to use as a foundation to build power till today. Our kupuna built a country that continues to exist. We have so much potential for organizing and building power, we just need to look. I was recently reminded that the Department of Education and the Fire Department are examples of kingdom institutions that still exist today. The House of Representatives today was established in 1841 and has survived 184 years. We need to begin to look at Hawaii's independence as part of the solution and reclaim our institutions. We must remember Kanaka always played a part, not only in the kingdom era and the republic, but also in the territory right up till today. After organizations like Hui Kalai'aina and Hui Lohaʻaina began to slow down, we see the Kanaka's movement into politics with the Home Ruler Party and Hui Uniona. Then into labor, unions as we know them today. We are still here active in labor. Kanaka leaders like Kevin Holu of the Teamsters 996, Kalani Werner, UPW, Chris West of the ILW, and Cecily Linares of Local 5, a mana wahine that led a key role in our strike against the Hilton Hawaiian Village in 2024. Amongst many, many, many Kanaka leaders and rank and file workers that helped make Hawaii run today. All the pieces are here. Now is the time to organize and strategize, standing on the ingenuity and strength of kupuna. Hawaiian movement and the labor movement need to see themselves in each other. What could happen if we start to look at each other as part of the solution and begin to share kuleana for a free Hawaii? Not to blame, but to understand that it's about all of us, the working class against them, the corporate class. To me, labor organizing is as much as of Hawaiian culture as anything else. I see organizing as my cultural practice. It's how I engage with the past, the present, and the future. It's going to take all of us. We all must participate. We must all take on a piece of the kuleana, no matter local or Kanaka or immigrant, no matter what religious belief you have or who you choose to love. We all must play a part and we all must support each other. Sovereignty, like solidarity, must be exerted and exercised. It does nothing if we do nothing. We need to help grow our unions and help non-union workers win a union and not leave anybody behind. We must unite as working people, fighting for Hawaii as a shared home. Mahalo. Aloha.
Okay, with that, I'd like everyone to refer to your chant sheets. We're gonna liven it up a little bit more, yeah? Okay. When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do? When migrants' rights are under attack, what do we do? When indigenous rights are under attack, what do we do? When people's rights are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Hell yeah.
voices like Corey's as well. So, all of us who come from immigrant families recognize indeed that we have struggled here. But we need to recognize that we're not against each other. We need to see each other as brothers and sisters, as ohana still. And the Hawaiian community allows us to look at that way. Allow them to help us understand that we are not against each other. We are for each other. And that's who we are. And so when one person struggles, when one group struggles, everybody struggles. And that we need to gather together to fight so that we can claim our rightful place in what is Hawaii today. And now we want to call upon Jen Lavely, who is a respiratory therapist at Queens Hospital and a member of the Hawaii Nurses Association. All right.
Aloha. Oh, right up there. Oh. Okay, right into it. Okay. I'm Jennifer. I'm a respiratory therapist, a critical care respiratory therapist here at Queens Medical Center. I've been employed there for about 4 years. Respiratory therapy is a specialized healthcare profession. We are trained to assess, diagnose, and treat patients with breathing and lung issues. You'll find a respiratory therapist on every floor in the hospital. We are a valued resource in any hospital around the world. You might find us in labor delivery, taking care of mother-baby. We could be in the ER, 1 minute giving a breathing treatment to an asthmatic child, and the next minute we're in the next room intubating a trauma patient from an outer island. You'll find us on every single floor of the hospital. We'll be administering breathing medication, and we will be doing other lung therapies with all patients. In the ICU, we have a critical job. We take care of the breathing ventilator machines and the breathing tubes. That is considered life support, and we manage that. If there's ever a crisis or code blue, which is cardiac arrest, any type of that in the hospital, there will be a respiratory therapist there at the head of the bed. We are breathing for the patients, and we are the ones assisting the doctors in putting the breathing tube in to save your family's life. Okay, back in April, my department, we voted yes to unionize. We voted yes at a 90%. 90% department said yes, and we voted. And now we believe that this is going to create a better future for us, a better work environment. It's going to promote healing, excellent patient care, and better mental health for all the staff that are involved. We want value and we want respect. Yes. Okay, our reasons for voting yes, they include staffing issues, patient safety issues due to unsafe scheduling and workload. We want better scheduling. We want work-life balance. We want better conditions. Last year, Queens, on our survey score, respiratory therapy was in the top 10 positions for burnout. We need retention. We're low on staff, but the most significant problem we have is wages. As the largest hospital on the island and the only level 1 trauma center, we take care of the sickest patients. Other hospitals transfer their sickest patients to us to take care of. And with that being said, in comparison to these other local hospitals, we are the lowest paid. We have the lowest pay rates. So I am here to stand up for my team and to stand up for what's right. After you win the union election, the law says that your employer must sit down at the bargaining table and bargain in good faith. Okay, but this has not been happening at some of the largest hospitals here in Hawaii. Instead, the employers are capitalizing on the, I'm getting excited, capitalizing on the current attacks, the attacks on the labor unions, and the attacks on the Federal Department of Labor. Okay, they are disregarding the laws and they're refusing to bargain with newly unionized workers. Queens has already done this. They have done this to a group of nurses who do chart review. Hawaii Pacific Health, they have done this. They have done this with a group of lactation nurses. And now, the respiratory therapists, now we are worried that they're doing this to us. This is unlawful behavior, and it is hurtful and unacceptable. We came together as a team to vote yes, and now being disregarded by our organization makes us feel discouraged, undervalued, and underappreciated. As respiratory therapists, we place ourselves at the highest level of exposure during the COVID pandemic. We were risking our lives, and we were risking taking that exposure back to our ohana just to care for others. We deserve to be recognized, treated fairly, and given the resources needed to fulfill Queen Emma's mission of providing quality healthcare services to improve the well-being of Native Hawaiian people and all the people of Hawaii. So today, I stand in support of all respiratory therapists and all the union workers, past, present, and the future ones to come. And for respiratory, there's a proverb that says, "For breath is life, and if you breathe well, you live long on earth." Well, us respiratory therapists, that's what we do. We help people breathe easier, one breath at a time. Mahalo. Hey.
Thank you so much, Jen. But how disappointing is it to see our very nurses, our very healthcare professionals being disrespected at their work? So thank you so much for sharing your story. And you know, if there's anything that the past year has shown us with all the challenges, not just within our hospitals, but throughout all the different workplaces in Hawaii, one thing has been proven time and time again. It's that when we fight, we win. And so here, we're going to hear from another hotel worker, from Jason Maxwell, who is a worker at the Modern and a member of Unite Here Local 5. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Hawaii Workers Center, for bringing this together, guys. Right into the mic, there we go. So, listen, thanks for saying that when we fight, we win, and that is the truth. I got a few things I gotta get to, but I gotta say this, guys. I'm a worker here in Hawaii. I work 80 hours a week, every week. I have no days off, no days off. Today I worked from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. and I got here. I get 2 days like that a week. These are my light days. This is the reality of somebody that considers himself lucky and blessed to belong to a union here in Hawaii. Where I'm from, the job that I do, which is bartending, you get paid $2.13 an hour today. That's all you get. You get no voice, you get no benefits. I don't know how my people make it back there. I've been here for 20 years. I've been blessed. I've been a part of this union since 2002 when I moved here. That's the nice story. They are attacking us, all of us. On March 27th, that executive order that this leader signed is canceling the workers' rights, the federal workers' rights to bargain and be recognized. And it's wrong, and the only way we can fight is together. That's what we have to do. Now, on the agenda it says Modern and Hilton, so I'll get to it. 2 weeks ago, I was a part of what was really, honestly, I've sat through many negotiations. It's never happened, any of them I've sat in. One afternoon, we got a negotiation settled with the Hilton at the Modern Hotel. And a lot of the workers said, wow, that was fast. That was quick. It was not. What I had to point out to some of my coworkers was there was a 50-day strike right next door at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. And we spent many afternoons rallying on that pool deck with some of those very workers because they're still being disrespected right next door, and they were anxious to get on a pool deck and holler back at this Hilton company. And those lawyers that they had did not want to see us strike them again. We had the negotiation scheduled on a Wednesday, and by that afternoon, the thing was settled in like 2 or 3 hours. It was a record. And they said, how'd it get done so fast? The threat was there. On Tuesday, 99% of us signed a photo petition saying we are authorizing our union to strike if you don't recognize what we're asking for. On that Wednesday, they recognized every bit of it. Everything that we said, everything we asked, I've never seen it. Everything we asked for, they're like, okay, yeah, I can have it. We believe that you should have this and that. We're going to cut this and that. We sat there and said, no. We fought for this. We will continue to fight. We're ready to fight tomorrow. They knew we would walk on that next day. They didn't want no part of it. They were afraid because we were united. We were united with those Hilton workers that they saw fight for 50 days. They didn't want no part of it. This is the time, and these are the people. It's us, you all. This is all we got. We got to stay united, just like that. That's the only way we will win. They will fight us. They will never stop coming after us. And this leader they have now is happy to be the point of the spear and do reckless things to prove the point that the billionaires are in control. You see how they posture. The billionaires want what we've got. They want our money, they want our loyalty, they want our stuff, and they're coming after it. And we have to stay together. We have to maintain the idea that we are one. Regardless of our color, regardless of our background, we are one. We will be together. We will fight them. And this is how we will win. And I apologize if I didn't check all the boxes, but I'm going to stop there. But we have to stay together, folks, and thank you, Hawaiʻi Workers Center, for doing this. And we have to continue to do it. God bless everybody.
Oh my God, one more big round of applause. Thank you so much. With that, I feel a chant coming on. The people united! The people united! El pueblo unido! El pueblo unido! Ang tao, ang bayan! Ang tao, ang bayan! The people united! Yeah, let's keep that in mind, yeah?
Mahalo, Jason. Again, powerful speech, powerful witness. All right, now we want to call up Josie Brody from the Jewish Voices for Peace here in Hawaii. Josie, where are you? Oh, there you are. Right into the mic, okay?
Okay, this mic?
Yeah.
I'm a shorty, so. Aloha mai kako, o Josie ko ui noa, no Boston mai au. My name is Josie. I was raised on Nipmuc lands in what's now known as Massachusetts, but came to Hawaii a couple years ago for grad school. And I'm here representing Jewish Voice for Peace and Students and Faculty for Justice in Palestine as a mixed race Jewish and Japanese person. Thank you for welcoming me and my communities here today. It's so wonderful to see such a great turnout. Okay, fellow workers, here's the deal. Our paychecks are cut up and taxed, and the majority of that money is not going to the education of our children, is not going to our health care, is not even going to paving our roads. It's going to the war profiteering of the rich, who get richer by dropping bombs on Palestine. And because of our tax dollars, our comrades in Palestine cannot go to work. Nurses and doctors have had their hospitals bombed. School has been out for over a year and a half because the institutions of learning have been decimated. And the farmers who have attempted to grow food to sustain their communities through genocide and siege have seen their crops systematically trampled, their waters systematically poisoned, and their fertile and beautiful lands systematically covered in rubble. In October of 2023, the situation of labor in Gaza changed completely. But of course, that does not mean that people stopped working. We have watched many work day and night, men pulling children from debris, women and other parents of all genders, hey, picking up their children and fleeing to what they hope might be a safer space. We've watched journalists give their lives to wake up each and every morning, try to find some sort of cell reception somewhere, and tell the world about the atrocities that they're enduring. This is the kind of work that is happening in Gaza. Business as usual has been replaced with the labor of survival, of sumud, steadfastness, refusal to be disappeared. We must do our best to disrupt business as usual here, where the bombs are developed and tested in Hawaiʻi. We can and should do this individually through our support for Palestine. Being visible is really important because it resists the repression
that we're facing right now from our fascist administration. The more of us that there are that are shouting Free Palestine, the safer that we will all be. Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Thank you. But working individually is not enough. We also need to be working collectively. We need to know our neighbors, we need to join groups and build power. With power, we can stop the machines of Zionist warmongering. We can fight US imperialism, and we can prevent the military from renewing their land leases here in Hawaiʻi. So please, the call to action is to join a group. There are so many represented here today, and we have little flyers for people who might want to join JVP. You don't need to be Jewish, but if you are Jewish, come hang out. But so many other amazing orgs. Aloha ʻāina might be accepting new members soon, I think. The folks who put on this event are doing such great work. Like Anak Bayan, I think, needs some new members. Come join. So, you know, this is to say, in America, we got major labor reform when we unionized, but the capitalists just exported that slavery, those sweatshops, to the global south. So what we need is a movement that is comprised of really strong local groups with a lot of built trust that all have their eye on the international. We can't just have our eye locally. We have to be strong locally, and we have to be connected across the globe, because the capitalists, the fascists, are connected across the globe. The far right in Israel is working with the far right in America. It's working with the far right all over the world, and we need to collect so that we can be stronger than them, because they obviously do not want us to win. So, I had one last thing to say, if my phone will wake up. Oh yes, to our elected officials, since we were told we could address them. We need you to stand up to fascism for us. We need you to defund the police and help the police get other jobs in less violent spheres. We need you to defund all branches of the military and help the people who have been traumatized by the military get jobs in less violent spheres. We need you to be brave, elected officials, and disrupt the systems that your positions are designed to support. We all need to be brave right now, because if we can't get ourselves organized, then the capitalists win, and they have us doing their dirty work as they run this planet into complete environmental collapse. So, free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Thanks, guys. Do that one more time. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Hell yeah, let's go. Thank you so much, Josie, for sharing. And it really goes to show where this administration's loyalties lie. And I want to pose the same question to all of our legislators, our elected officials. Where do your loyalties lie? Ask yourself that, and if you think that your loyalties lie with the people, show it to the people. Okay? We also know that we are not free until we are all free. And so with that, we'd like to invite up Krizhna Bayudan from the Lahaina Filipino Fires Survivors Association to speak more on what they've been doing.
Aloha everyone, and happy International Workers' Day. My name is Krizhna Bayudan, and I'm a community organizer with the Hawaiʻi Workers Center on Maui. And I was also directly affected by the August 2023 Lahaina fire. Today, we gather in unity and in purpose to honor the dignity and rights of working people across Hawaiʻi. And today, I speak especially for Lahaina's working class, renters, homeowners, and immigrant families like mine, who have been fighting every day to survive and rebuild after one of the most devastating disasters in Hawaiʻi's history. More than a year and a half ago, the Lahaina fire changed our lives forever. We lost our homes, our jobs, and entire communities. But through that loss, we found strength and a shared commitment to making sure our people are not forgotten. And I'm happy to announce that we are forming the Lahaina Filipino Fire Survivors Association, a group of working-class Filipino immigrants and survivors who are organizing for justice. Our mission is this. We are the Lahaina Filipino Fire Survivors, immigrant workers who built our lives through sacrifice and hard work. After losing everything, we continue to fight for our families by demanding affordable housing and rental assistance. We deserve to rebuild our lives in Lahaina, where our jobs, schools, and communities are. We are here to make sure no one is forgotten as we seek justice, dignity, and the chance to stay rooted in the home we helped build. But the system is not meeting us where we are. Over 80% of Lahaina residents were renters, and now many of us are paying 3 times what we paid before the fire, living in units we were forced to choose because there were no other options. And too many survivors, including my own family, have been caught in a loop of bureaucratic delays between FEMA and the state's housing program, Kala'iola. Some had to wait until their insurance was exhausted, then wait again weeks or even months for FEMA to confirm eligibility for housing assistance. Kala'iola could only help people who were denied FEMA, forcing families to endure these delays without support. And some people even became homeless or were forced to pay exorbitant rents just to keep a roof over their heads while waiting for either program to accept them. This is unacceptable. Only 9 homes in Lahaina have been rebuilt today. There is no clear timeline or number for how many permanent housing units are coming, and 1,200 households are still in FEMA's temporary program set to expire in February 2026. And what happens after that? To our state legislators, we need more than just empathy. We need action. Keep FEMA fully funded and protected. Streamline FEMA and state housing programs so families aren't waiting months just to get help. Hire local, culturally competent FEMA staff. Ensure language access for Ilocano and Tagalog speakers. Fund immediate rental assistance for fire survivors. Remove bureaucratic or financial barriers slowing down the rebuilding of homes. And give us a real plan where survivors will live when the FEMA program ends. This May Day, we say clearly, our labor matters, our livelihoods matter, our future in Lahaina matters, and our future in Hawaiʻi matters. Thank you.
Mahalo, Krizhna. Really appreciate the work that you've been doing. Krizhna's going to be transitioning to go back to school in a couple of weeks now, but we appreciate the work that she's been doing, and we continue to make sure that her successor in that job will do the same thing that she's been doing. So continue to hold the people of Maui in your thoughts, your prayers, and in whatever ways in which you can be supportive of them. Okay? All right. Now we're going to call upon Ray Catania, my favorite friend from Kauai. He's going to give us the legislative report, and boy, it's not good news.
You know, before I get to the report, every time I had a report card, when I was growing up, I used to come home with a damn bunch of Fs. And because of that, I was stuck cleaning the yard for years, you know. And we'll get to the legislation and how I think about them. But, you know, their grade is not going to be good. But before I get into that, I want to say that I'm the Kauai representative for the Hawaii Workers Center on Kauai. And I've been living on Kauai for over 35 years. And I've learned a lot of history about my island. The first strike that ever happened in the Hawaii Islands was Native Hawaiians in Koloa Plantation, 1841. The bosses was only paying them 12.5 cents a day, almost like carnival script. When they had to go to the store that was owned by the plantation boss, was the only place where they could buy goods. They're a bunch of crooks, you know, that's the thing. A lot of people don't know about that, but the first strike was by Kanaka Maoli. And what happened was that after that strike, because they give the employees such a hard time, because the Hawaiians never like cooperate with that stupid kind of hard labor and getting paid nothing but garbage, they started bringing in our ancestors from Asia and Portugal and other places. So the thing is that the Kanaka Maoli and the immigrants, my ancestors, we first cousins. We first cousins because we work on the land together. Okay, that's the foundation. The other thing is, in 1886, when Haymarket Square, when they had the workers that were demonstrating there for the 8-hour day, what would happen was that some kind of explosion went on, where cops were killed, and some workers were hurt. They tried to blame that movement, that bombing, on immigrant laborers. Immigrants have always fought for equality and higher wages and benefits and everything else. It's the immigrant laborers that are at the foundation of our movement. Don't forget that, because without us, the movement ain't shit, okay? It's immigrant workers that bring everything together. Now, we had the Latinos out here, they was talking. It's important to listen to them, because when I was in Chicago, I lived there for 4 years. I lived in a Latino community. They took me in as one of their own, and they showed me all the pictures of their families back in Mexico and in Honduras and other countries that they came from. And they came from dirt poor places. They're not coming over here for steal nothing from anybody. All they want to do is work. So let's remember that. They're just trying to survive. Now, when we get to the legislative report, a big friend over here, he's there holding up this sign. And some of the things I'm going to talk about, you guys can respond and tell me what you think. Should I come over here so I can see that, brother? Okay. Paid family leave. For over 20 years, we've been fighting for paid family leave, but somehow the legislature just can't get it together. What we want to see is for people who have problems with giving birth, like women, and taking care of the older people, that they get paid for this work, you know, of taking care of their family members. Now, what happens is that the legislature has never gotten behind this thing fully. This thing gotta happen. We need paid family leave so that mostly women, they have the right of getting a paycheck when they gotta take care of somebody at home, like a sick family member or give birth. Like, for example, myself, I used to belong to the United Public Workers, and we had accumulated leave. So when my wife gave birth to my two daughters, one is 34 and the other one right now is 31, I was able to stay home for over 1 month and get paid, because my wife, who was working at Pizza Hut, was getting nothing. Okay? So I was able to stay home and help my wife take care of babies. You know, now they're big and they drive me nuts and they're on their own. But the thing is that it's really important to have paid family leave. And it's an attack on women in particular that we don't have it. So, brothers and sisters, what you guys grade for paid family leave in the legislature? What you guys would give them? Because they're on flunk. F, okay, F. Who calling me? Okay, they give an F, okay? Now, there's the tip credit. Right now, the bosses, they can rip off at the top of the wages of the waitresses and waiters. They can take $1.25 off of the minimum wage. What? You can't hear? I can't hear. Oh, you can't hear? Okay, ready. This is better. Okay, not loud enough. I can talk more loud, you know, brother. Okay, so anyway, right now, the crumb bum bosses, they can steal from the workers $1.25 off the top of their wages. That thing never passed either. They didn't have a hearing, you know. This thing gotta end. The thievery on the part of the management has got to end. That is not their money. They didn't earn it. It goes to the waiters and the waitresses. That's their money. Brothers and sisters, how you grade the legislature? F. Okay, all right. Now, there's another bill called the Right of Return, House Bill 1325. This relates to Haleyalpiy Terrace, places like that. And Lisa Grandanetti, you would help with this, yeah? Tina. Okay, I'm sorry. I take that back. Tina. Okay, so that's all. Sorry about that, yeah? So, anyway, they're rebuilding that place. They're gonna renovate Haleyalpiy Terrace. But there's no guarantee that the residents that living there now are going to be able to come back at the same kind of rates, you know. And the legislature doesn't even want to guarantee them that right to come back and live there. And they've been living there for many years. A lot of our brothers and sisters that live there are from the Marshall Islands, from Chuuk, from Palau, you know. And the thing is that they deserve it as far as I'm concerned, because their land, their islands were stolen by the United States government to bomb into oblivion, you know. That's why there have been over 500 cases of cancers and diseases in these islands, you know, in the Pacific. And I think they deserve the right to return. Everybody deserves housing, yeah? Nobody should be left on the street. There's no such thing. There should be no such thing as an unemployed person, and there should be no such thing as a person who without a home. Everybody deserves a home, and everybody deserves a house, a decent place to live. So, my friends, how do we give this right of return to KPT? How do we grade the legislature, our friends over there? F again.
3F.
They usually come out. Whatever. The thing is that there's a lot of work that got to be done in the legislature. We got to really push these guys to do their job. As far as I'm concerned, they're not acting like Democrats, yeah? They're acting more like, I don't know. Yeah, they're not fighters. Not all of them. You got some good ones that are here today, you know. One I named and another gal right here. Oh, you too, brother, over there. Oh yeah, Ikaikahasi. You guys are all good. But we gotta let the legislature know that they're full of baloney. You know, they gotta fight for the working class. We just can't continue to go on in misery. You know, they gotta make some changes. That's what they're there for. They're not there over there for fight for the rich guys, the billionaire class. Hell with them. They gotta fight for us. What do you guys think? That's right. So anyway, thank you very much for giving me and my good friend here a chance to talk. Aloha, everybody.
Mahalo, Ray, for sharing. Very lively. So next, we're almost done. We're almost gonna separate from each other until later today's silent march towards the federal building. But before that, before we part ways, I just want to remind everyone that today is the Hawaiʻi Worker Center's 5th birthday. Woo! Give a round of applause. And so with that, I'd like to bring up the Hawaiʻi Worker Center current interim executive director, Kami Yamamoto.
Well, it's a tough act to follow after Uncle Ray. But like Misty said, my name is Kami Yamamoto. I'm the interim executive director for the Hawaiʻi Worker Center. I just want to share a big mahalo for everybody who came out today, who bared with the sun, who listened to all the statements that folks had to share today. I hope that at least something touched your hearts and, you know, resonated with you. And as we celebrate International Workers' Day, you know, just to remember what is the plight of the workers, the working class here in Hawaii. We wanted to organize this lineup of speakers to illustrate just exactly what people are going through. Everyday people, right? And I think we firmly believe at the Hawaiʻi Worker Center, it's not just individual leaders who make a difference. It's when we come together and take collective action. And I hope that all the speeches today shared that. So thank you again for everybody who came out and celebrated our 5th birthday. We're a kindergartner, thank you. Also, big thank you to the Defend and Respect Hawaiʻi Workers Coalition, all members. Some of our organizations are here tabling today, but of course not everybody is here. So thank you again for all of everybody's efforts for organizing today. We really appreciate it. And then also big thank you to Food Not Bombs for providing us with some food. Thank you, Auntie. They post up at Old Thomas Square every Sunday, and they're providing food for people. So yeah, they're doing great work. So thank you again for bringing just something small for us. For our 5th birthday, we do have some cupcakes, but only 100. So I guess whoever comes first, and yeah, first 100. Oh yeah, you can split them. Yeah. But lastly, just wanted to plug and promote our Solidarity Force and sustaining the Hawaiʻi Worker Center's work. We're asking for folks to contribute $5, just $5, for our 5 years of work, and you can drop by our table and sign up to join our Solidarity Force. If you sign up today, or starting today, for the rest of the month, you will get a free Hawaiʻi Worker Center t-shirt, like me and Sam and everybody in the bright blue shirt is wearing. So free t-shirt. And then anybody who signs up will also be entered into a raffle for a $50 gift card to Longs. Yeah, I know everybody likes Longs. Lastly, please stick around, talk story, mingle, grab some food, share a cupcake. And then we do have some sign waving after this program. We'll be here until the silent march happening at the Capitol. So please stick around. And yeah, thank you again, everybody, for coming out today.
All right, everybody, thank you for coming. Really appreciate your presence here today. And I'm trusting that the stories that you have heard today, that you will continue to take back with you and to share with others, so that we continue to build this greater awareness and this movement that all of Hawaii's workers really deserve. Some respect, some dignity, and support. And I'm trusting indeed that you will continue to open up your hearts and your minds and everything that you have to pay attention to Hawaii's workers. We're gonna do this again next year, right? And there's gonna be more and more of us. So, we're not gonna rest from this day on. We're gonna make sure, and especially for those of you who are right now, I want you to make sure that you talk to other people who are presently here. Get to know these other folks, okay? To connect with them, to understand what their work is, and to find that sense of solidarity with them. And so we're gonna be doing some sign waving right here, but our next event is gonna happen at 5 o'clock, right this time. We're gonna join the silent march in support of the federal workers. It's actually gonna start at the Capitol, but we're gonna go all the way down to the federal building, and that's where there's gonna be another rally. So we hope you can stick around for that. Aloha!
Yeah, so if there's one thing we learned today, is that the workers are the ones with the most power. So we're gonna do a quick chant. You can follow along, it's the first one on your sheet. Okay. Who's got the power? What kind of power? Who's got the power? What kind of power? Who's got the power? What kind of power? What kind of power? What kind of power? Hell yeah. Okay, again, this is not the last time we'll see each other. As mentioned, we're also here to build Haleyalpiy in the time that we're going to be waiting for the next action. So again, encouraging everyone to join that, support our workers on the different levels, And the tables are still up, so please feel free to go visit those who are tabling. We got some. Huh? Oh, okay. We got some great tables like the Democratic Socialists of Oahu. We got the Hawaii Coalition for Immigrant Rights. We got Hawaii Alliance for Progressive Action. I believe Local 5 has a table. We got 5051. Oh, yes, of course. And then there are folks who are handing out Know Your Rights cards, the red cards that you see. Okay, in Tagalog, English, Spanish, and Chinese English. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so with that, we'd also like to invite folks to come take a picture. For those who are okay with having their picture taken, we'll take a big group picture to commemorate not just May Day, not just International Workers Day, not just the Hawaii Workers Center birthday, but in our unity. Yeah, so if I could invite folks up. I know people are handing out cupcakes and they're very tempting. So yes, folks could come up to the stage. We'll take a big group photo. Okay. Okay, folks could make their way towards the stage. Those who are okay with being photographed, we can remember this day forever. Oh. Okay, you guys can come towards me. Join me. Join me on the dark side. No, I'm kidding. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh yeah, thank you, sorry.
Sorry,
maybe you gotta go to the side angle, because then you can get everybody. Yeah. Get some food, I will. You may have to come this way.
My aunt was a restaurant. My mom was like,
anyone else?
that's super cool. She's oh, hey! How are you? Oh, let me share.
From that side of that thing to this side.
I didn't realize that was me. Okay, we found each other.
Everyone else? Yeah! Back there, Shaw, come up here.
What do we look at first? Thank you.